Hey guys, or girls as the case may be, this is for the girls. Although some of you guys may like to pass it along to your lady friends. So, because obviously it can benefit you too. But I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about vaginal yeast infections and a natural remedy for them that is very effective, and it's all natural. And I've had so many people, so many women ask me about vaginal yeast infections because it can be a real problem for some women, especially, it can become chronic. And the underlying issue is candida, usually systemic candida throughout your body, which ultimately is what you need to do is do your cleansing, like I'm always talking about, and cleaning out your overall system of the candida so you don't get the vaginal yeast infections in the first place. So, but this is a great remedy for those times when you do have them. And it's better than taking antibiotics, which create resistant bacteria, and they also create resistant strains of the yeast, and they also kill off the good flora in the in that area, which you want to have. So, and then the monostat and all that stuff, if you keep using it, it's gonna once again create resistant strains. It's not gonna work. And the other thing is it's toxic. It is a bunch of petrochemicals. So I don't, you want to keep your toxic burden as low as possible and putting in as few toxins as possible. So I don't want to put that stuff in my body. Anyway, okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get a combination douche and enema bag. You can get this at, pretty much any drugstore. Walgreens has them for about $16. You can get them at Walmart for $4.97 if you're not morally opposed to shopping at Walmart. And you can also get them online, and I'll leave a link below. So what you're going to want to do is put it together. Like the hose and all that. Like I said, I'm not going to go into all that. You can, read the instructions. And then what you want to do is, this is what the bag's going to look like. You're going to want to fill up the entire bag. And if you can just use, room temperature water if you want. If you want to make it a little more comfortable, you can boil 2 cups of water and heat it up, and then add it to fill the bag up about halfway and add the 2 cups of the boiling water, and then fill the rest up, and that will make it a nice temperature, a nice body temperature. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you use purified water. Whatever you're using for purified water, you don't want to use tap water. And the primary reason is because the tap water is full of chlorine, which once again is going to kill off the good flora, the good bacteria in your system. So you want to get some, if you already have a filter or a distiller, whatever you're using, or you can just, pick up some distilled water or purified water at the at the store. Make sure it says purified water, because if it doesn't say purified water, then it could just be tap water. That's what happens with a lot of the bottled waters. But you want to make sure you use purified water. Okay, so you're going to fill the bag up with the water, as I said, and then what you're going to do is you're going to add 4 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide. Make sure it's 3% hydrogen peroxide. Once again, you can get this at any drugstore, Walmart, Target, for basically about 99 cents. Okay, it's really cheap and easy. You can also get food grade hydrogen peroxide. You can order that online. The problem with most of those is that they're 30%. So they're very, very strong. They'll actually, they're caustic. They will burn. So you want to make sure, if you're going to get the 30% food grade, you want to make sure that you dilute it down. So I recommend, just make it easy for yourself. This works fine. The kind of drugstore, it's nice and cheap. You don't have to order it and all that stuff. But if you're, a real purist and you want to get the 30% food grade online, go ahead and do that. So you're going to add 4 tablespoons to your 2 quarts of water that you made up, and then you're going to douche with that. And like I said, I'm not going to show you how to do that. Just go in the shower is usually the easiest way to do it, whether you're taking a shower or just standing in the shower. And what you're going to do is you're going to douche with it once in the morning and once at night for 7 days. Okay, you want to do it for 7 days in a row, morning and night. And then on the 8th day for another 3 to 5 days, what you want to do is once again fill up your 2-quart bag of water and add some probiotics to it. So it's really going to depend on what kind of probiotics you use, how much you use. I'll leave some links for probiotics below, and it's also going to depend on your sensitivity. So you can experiment with different probiotics to see what works for you. So you're going to douche at least once a day with the probiotics in the water, and that will help to replenish your good internal flora. The other thing that you can do is you can actually take the probiotic in the capsule form and you can just insert it vaginally, which is really easy to do, but it depends on your comfort level. Some people are sensitive to that because it's really concentrated. So really, douching with the probiotics afterwards is a great way to go for another 3 to 5 days. And honestly, I don't know anybody who's done this that hasn't gotten relief and gotten rid of the vaginal yeast infections, and including myself. I've done it many times in years past. I used to have really bad candida. I used to have chronic vaginal yeast infections. I know, TMI, but hey, the guys aren't listening. You girls understand, okay? Some of you especially that have this problem. And so this really works really well. And then in the next video, I'm going to make this a 2-part video because it's getting a little long. I'll tell you something that you can do after that to help prevent them from coming back while you're working on your cleansing and cleaning up your diet and getting rid of that overall systemic candida. So stay tuned for part 2 on how to prevent them, and especially if you're having chronic issues with this with this problem. So okay, stay tuned for part 2. Thanks. Bye.